of request to understand what Reiki is. When people look at my profile, and what is Reiki? R-E-I-K-I. Reiki has been practiced for over 1,000 years, and it was discovered, the original one, by Dr. Miko Yasui back in the early 1900s, late 1800s. And Reiki is laying on of hands. The word Reiki comes from two Japanese words, Rei, R-E-I, and Ki, K-I. Rei means spiritually guided or spiritual wisdom, the higher knowledge, spiritual consciousness, the universal energies, the wisdom that comes from God, who's all-knowing. Ki means life energy, life force energy. Ki is the same as prana, chi, vital life force energy. As long as there is life, there is ki flowing. Ki is the energy of our thoughts and our emotions and our spiritual life. When our ki is high, we're free and healthy. And when it's low, this is where we become compromised. We get sick and we become vulnerable to illness. So Reiki is spiritually guided life force energy. Reiki is one with God consciousness. So how does it work? It's a touch therapy, and it actually is about bringing the body into a state of balance. Our natural state of being is healthiness, happiness, and wholeness. And Reiki helps bring your body into balance. This complementary therapy is becoming very well known in the medical communities, and I'm so lucky to, right here in Philadelphia, the University of Penn, their oncology services offer the complementary therapies like Reiki, acupuncture, massage, to complement modern medicine. Reiki has been proven to help when in chemo treatments, radiation treatments, to help the body relax. It also has been very helpful in hospice as someone makes their transition and helping the body to relax. But it's also very useful in our well-being, wellness. So before you get to dis-ease or disharmony in the body, the chi becoming disrupted, we have wellness, right? So Reiki can also be used to help the body maintain wellness. So how is it administered? A Reiki practitioner who has been attuned to Reiki lays hands or hovers hands and channels additional life force energy, universal energy, from the crown of their head out through their hands, and encourages the cells in that recipient's body to come into balance. And how do they do it? It is aligning with their chi, the recipient, which is their innate ability to choose wellness, to raise their vibratory chi, to promote healing and wellness. We're alive because life force is flowing through us. This is what EKGs read. It also flows around us in our energy field and aura that's 6 feet from our bodies. Life force nourishes the organs and cells of the body, supporting them in their vital functions. And when the flow of life force energy is disrupted, it causes diminishing functions in the organs and tissue in that physical body, in and around that area. Dis-ease, disharmony. The life force energy is responsive to thoughts and feelings. And it becomes disrupted when we accept, either consciously or unconsciously, negative thoughts or feelings about ourselves. And these negative thoughts and feelings create disharmony in the body and disrupts the natural flow of our life force energy, thus affecting the organs and tissues in the body. It diminishes their vital functions. So Reiki encourages and heals by flowing through those affected parts of the energy field and charging them, bringing them up, raising their vibratoriness to be in alignment with our natural state of being, of healthiness, wholeness, happiness, as Dr. David Hawkins refers to, love, joy, peace, the high vibratoriness of flow. So when we're in the flow with our natural state of being, we're at our highest vibratoriness, peak performance, healthiness, wholeness. So it heals by coming into those negative parts, charging them, encouraging them to drop or fall away from that negative, to break it up. And so doing, Reiki clears and straightens and heals the energy pathways. So this is just a brief little description of what Reiki is and how it works. I've been a Reiki master and teacher for over 15 years. I utilize it every day in my own self-healing practice, level 1 of Reiki, and I train others. So if you'd like to learn more about it, feel free to reach out to me. But I find it as one of many tools to help you in overall well-being. Take care. Today's video, activating the vagus nerve for overall optimum health. Did you know that the vagus nerve connects our breath to our emotions? When we place our intention to take slow, deep breaths, our heart rhythm slows down. But did you also know that the out-breath stimulates the vagus nerve? Your out-breath is directly connected to your well-being. The vagus nerve is the key messenger of your nervous system. And when it's stimulated, it signals to the body that it's a time or state of calm. So the vagus nerve extends down from the brain to the colon, connecting it to the middle ear, the vocal cords, the heart, the lungs, the intestines, and everything along the way. It interacts with our autonomic nervous system, that part of the nervous system that is responsible for such unconscious processes like digestion and breathing. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch of the autonomic nervous system that stimulates the body to rest and digest. So the vagus nerve carries a lot of importance, and it has a profound impact on our state of being. Deep, slow breathing stimulates the vagus nerve and lowers the heart rate. And this can be amplified through rhythmic rising and falling of belly breath. And my clients know that I'm real big on activating the parasympathetic. So living in awareness of when we're in the sympathetic and activating the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is our stress responders. And then how do we get into a state of calm so we can gain clarity, so we can change programming, so we can actually take back our power from unconscious habitual reactions. So the exercise that we're going to do together today is my favorite. My clients are well aware I do this recording for them when we're working on rewiring the brain. And it's a guided meditation of a box breath. But this time, we're going to encourage a longer exhale to stimulate the vagus nerve and activate a deeper sense of relaxation. This technique is quite effective in helping you go back to sleep or go to sleep, but it can also help just activate the vagus nerve to bring yourself into that state of calm, equanimity, a balanced state of being, so you can make rational choice. This exercise is a 1-to-2 ratio of the breath. Longer on the exhale, the shorter end is on the inhale. So let's practice. I want you to find that comfortable seated position, or if you wish to lie down because you want to drift off to sleep, feel free. And you're just bringing your awareness to your natural rhythm of breath. Notice how it flows in. Notice how it flows out. We're not trying to control anything. We're greeting ourselves right where we are. Mindfulness teaches us to be the observer of what's going on. And it may take us a moment to settle down. Greet yourself right where you are. Is your heart rhythm spiked? Are your thoughts a whirling dervish? And just the best of your ability, breathe in, bringing your awareness to your breath. Breathe out. Sometimes I'll say to myself, in breath, out breath. If I'm really jacked up, I'll make it a complete sentence till I can get to that. I'm aware I'm breathing in. I'm aware I'm breathing out. In breath, out breath. Greeting yourself right where you are. Remember, the mind is designed to think. You're observing whatever's passing through and bring your awareness back to the flow of your breath. Now, I want you to inhale to a count of 4. Exhale to a count of 4. Let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. I prefer if you exhale through your nose, but feel free if you need to sigh and breathe out your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. Breathing in. See if you can poof the belly out. Really roll those shoulders back. Feel the breath rise. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really emptying that belly. One last time. I'm going to stay silent, and I want you to count at your own pace. Now, next flow of breath, encourage yourself to breathe in for 4. Exhale for 5. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 5. Just notice one more flow of breath this way. I love to do things in 3s. Just observe. When you finish this box breath, just be for one breath flow to observe. Then let's do count of 4, breathe in and extend to a count of 6. Inhale for that count of 4. Exhale for a count of 6. Feel yourself getting more relaxed. Feel that breath really fired up. Inhale for 4. Exhale when ready for 6. Next inhale for 4. Exhale for 7. Feel that rhythmic breath. Feel the breath coming into a state of calm. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 7. Final one. I want you to breathe into a count of 4, and we're now going to exhale for a count of 8. This will be the top of our extended box breath. All at your own pace now. Feel this deliciousness. You put a smile on your face. Exhale for 8. I really feel my belly concave in. Inhale for 4. Last one here. Exhale for 8. Now bring yourself back to regular breath and observe how the body feels. Set the intention now to either drift off to sleep or go about your day energized, calm, clear. Till next time, the Spirit in me bows and honors these moments with you. Namaste. So this week's video, I want to explore tuning in to our inner world and trusting that we are our best expert. So how do we trust our intuition? How do we build that relationship in trusting our own heart's desires, our own inner compass? When I'm coaching my clients, I always include exercises to build that connection, to quiet the mind, all that chatter, and listen to the silent whispers of the heart. See, life is constantly throwing us so many curveballs, and we begin to question our ability to discern what is in our best interest. We ask our friends, we ask our family, and many times we get very confused with all the data and information and the analysis and the reasoning behind something. And we begin to quiet our own inner compass. Society can make us question those feelings and encourage us to choose fact over our feelings. Look at the data. Look at the research. Not what you're feeling, not what you're thinking, but our intuition, our gut, can tell us a lot about whether we can move peacefully through this situation or greet it with chaos because we're not in alignment with our true heart's desires, or what's in alignment with who we are, as opposed to trying to be something that somebody expects you to be or wants you to be, or you think you have to be. So what I encourage you is to always include your intuition in your decision-making process. Whenever you're making those important decisions for you, tune in. Yes, you can take data, analysis, research, reasoning, but I want your intuition and your gut to also be a very, very integral part, more so than the data. Foster that relationship with self-understanding. Understand who you are, your emotional set point, your thoughts, and your bodily sensations. My clients always hear me talk about these components, and I want to throw this in there. Your emotions, your emotional current affects every thought you think and also creates those perceptions you have in life. Repetitive thoughts create beliefs. And by the way, those perceptions aren't necessarily fact. In fact, most of the time they aren't facts. They're simply your perceptions based on your emotional current. So I encourage you to really build a relationship with those. And that's very fundamental in my proprietary methodology I use for my coaching. All three of those indicators. Now, the body is also speaking. The body is the best mind reader ever. So you want to always be tuning into your body as well. I don't want to leave that out, but emotions and thoughts create these perceptions, and we ignore. Many times we have actually a disconnect from our body. So all three of these indicators of what you're experiencing in the present moment hold wisdom for you. And what do I think is the most vital, important part of developing and fostering this awareness, fostering being able to trust your inner compass, really getting acquainted with your authentic self, is meditation. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be, everything has to stop. The world has to stop and I have to sit in lotus position and put on some peaceful music. You can do it with your cup of tea in the morning, your cup of coffee. It's about centering yourself, connecting to yourself, and really tuning in. What am I feeling in my body? What is my emotion that I'm experiencing in the present moment? There is no bad emotion, and emotions don't define. They come, they stay for a while, and they leave. So you don't want to be intimidated by those emotions or afraid to look at them. These are all things that I can help you with as a mindset coach. So please do reach out if you're having difficulty. And then notice the thoughts passing through. Again, the mind's designed to think, so it's not going to stop thinking just because you've gotten still. You're going to be having all kinds of thoughts. Those thoughts, you want to place distance between you and those thoughts. They're just passing through. I like to use the analysis of like clouds in the sky. You can't touch them, but you see them passing through. I don't want you to reach out to those thoughts. The emotional attachment, when you find yourself getting emotionally wrapped up in a thought that's passing through when you're trying to meditate, you haven't failed. The mind goes 90 to nothing. We spend 50% of our waking hours mind wandering. So the mind's going to wander. Just because you decided to sit and get still doesn't mean it's going to stop wandering. So we're building mindful muscle. We get better and stronger at the things we practice. And the more time you spend with self in that stillness, the mind will settle. Oh, she's just doing that thing again. But the beautiful thing is there's definitely a science to it, and there's magic that happen. You drop into that parasympathetic, that relaxation response, and the body comes out of fight or flight. You begin to build this relationship of understanding self, being the observer of self, and you're training yourself to greet yourself with love and kindness, non-judgment, and just pure curiosity. What's going on with me in this present moment? What am I feeling? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I encourage you to practice dropping in there, because what's cool is you'll start seeing how you respond to life situations. You'll notice your habitual unconscious behaviors because now you're starting to really pay attention, being aware, because you're spending time fostering this skill. During our life, we are always discovering, developing, and evolving. So I encourage you to take time, really foster that relationship with self, really tune in to your intuition and your gut, and learning to live authentically, a life you design. And watch how even in challenging situations, you'll be at peace in your heart. Enjoy your day. Today's video is inspired by this week's mindful moment, cultivating awareness as well as self-awareness in the here and now. I'm going to lead with a quote that we've all probably heard. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, by Charles Dietrich. Let's add a little mindful twist. So I encourage you, think about this for a moment. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. It's giving a beginner's mind and mindfulness twist to it. So I'm going to encourage you to take a moment and notice what is currently on your mind. What has your attention? Is it something that is occurring right here, right now? Is it something that happened yesterday or a year ago? Is it something that you're worried about that's in the future? Dwelling on something that hasn't occurred yet? Or are you right here, right now, being? Now, there's no right or wrong answer. Mindfulness teaches us to tune in and notice. Notice when we are scattered to other things and we don't have our mind on the present moment. And always remember, this present moment is new. It's never been lived before. It has sky's the limit as potentiality, and it helps you create the next moment and the next moment. This is the moment to be lived. Focus and intention. And today's society, we are pulled in so many directions. We have difficult time focusing. So there's no right or wrong here. Keep bringing yourself back to the present moment. The task at hand, whatever needs your attention. Now, I'd like to do a little exercise to help foster that. We know that if we practice in mindfulness, we build mindful muscle. we strengthen those muscles of the brain. And it's something as simple as bringing our attention to the breath can help us train our mind to better focus and concentrate in the present moment. So let's take a moment, drop in, and just find the breath. Bring your awareness and notice the inhale and notice the exhale. Just pay attention to its natural flow. We're not changing anything right this second. We're just being with it. And then just engage the senses. What do I hear in this present moment? I hear birds outside my home here. I hear the quiet hum of my heating unit. What do I smell? Do I smell anything? I happen to smell a candle I'm burning. It's a beautiful smell. Coffee. And what do I feel on my skin, my buttocks on this bench? Skin, my clothes touching my skin. So we're engaging the senses and we're just bringing our awareness to here and now. Now the mind wanders 50% of the time. It may wander as I'm simply talking. You might think, I've already failed, I can't do it. It's a-okay. Keep bringing and redirecting your attention back to your senses. Now our eyes are closed, so you can't necessarily say, what do I see? But you can hear, feel, smell. It's about engaging your senses in the present moment. Observe with curiosity and encourage yourself to live this moment. This is the moment to be lived and experienced. Just encourage. And you may find that you need to do this a couple of times throughout your day. Now, when you're ready, just gently open the eyes and let's greet this present moment with fresh eyes. And you may find you need to do this several times. And it's a-okay. We get pulled in so many directions. Just say, wait a minute, I'm going to connect to my breath. I'm going to bring my awareness and engage the senses. And it brings me into the here and now. This is how we build mindful muscle. We train the brain to live in the present moment, in the here and now. We have lots of emotions and lots of things going on. And something as simple as this builds that focus and attention. So I encourage you today, live in awareness. These unique moments. And when you find yourself not living in the present moment, that's a wonderful win for being mindful. And then gently steer yourself back. You can even do it with the eyes open. I took a moment a few minutes ago when I was trying to decide what I wanted to record. I connected to my breath. I felt the rhythm of my breath, and I looked at the birds outside and brought myself into the here and now. Got laser focused, increased my concentration so I could put something down that I wanted to record. So I encourage you, take those moments and notice how many today, just by watching this video and bringing to your awareness, that now have your attention. You'll be living more present than you ever have before. Till next time, wishing you a day filled with mindful moments. Take care. So today's video, understanding and managing stress mindfully. I always think it's important to understand how we're actually wired. And then to always remember, you have the ability to rewire the brain using such skills as mindfulness. It actually helps you tap in, build mindful muscle to use the wiser parts of the brain to mindfully respond to life rather than react. When we experience an external threat or an internal worry and a concern, the part of the brain called the hypothalamus is activated, which initiates a series of nerve cells firing as well as releasing chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline into the bloodstream. This combo of nerve cells activation and chemical release causes many changes in our body. Your breathing rate, your blood pressure, all increase. And energy is directed away from your digestive and immune system and move toward your muscles for that quick reflexive response or reaction. Mentally, the more wise, intelligent, and rational parts of your brain begin to shut down when they're in that fight-flight. When you're in that fight-flight mode, your brain scans the environment, perceives everything in its surroundings to be a threat to survive. Plain and simple. This is how we're wired. Think of it like, I read this in something that I was reading, like a thief that has entered your home and you now perceive every moment or every sound as a sign of danger. Even if the wind blows the curtains. Now think in a different way. It's like once you've experienced that person, that thief coming into your home and it's after the fact, anything thereafter is almost like you're in this immediate response of taking in every noise. Now think of it in a different way. A harmless comment by a colleague is now seen as an attack. You overreact to feedback. Your thoughts become irrational. Your fear becomes a filter through which you see the world around you. Why? Because you are elevated and never come down out of that fight-flight response. When we're stuck in that stress response, you can't think positively. Your thoughts are clouded. Your attentional resources are focused simply on negativity. Fear is the focus, not friendliness. And you're not able to be rational. You make short-term decisions that have long-term consequences, and choices can't be processed. So when we're in this fight-flight, it's turned on and it's continuously turned on, and it perceives everything from this a quick emergency response. It never comes out of it. And the reason why I bring this up is that our life has things that make this turn on, this immediate activation. We are stimulated by things on the TV. We are stimulated by things on the radio. We're stimulated also by energy around us. We feel it. If somebody cuts us off in traffic, or we cut them off by accident, and the next thing you know, they're flipping us a bird, or they're doing something out of anger. So, as I mentioned, the stress response is hardwired in the brain and the body to protect you from physical dangers. But fortunately, the ability to reduce your stress is also hardwired. But both work unconsciously. They're both automatic, and it's called the autonomic nervous system. But through mindfulness, you can learn to spot when your stress response is activated. You actually start to understand yourself. You're living in awareness of self, and you're then better able to take action to reduce the stress. So there's two parts of this autonomic nervous system. There's the sympathetic nervous system, that's our stress response, fight or flight, and then the parasympathetic, which is what they call relaxation response. The main focus here is to activate the rest and digestive function to bring your body back into harmonious balance when it's been triggered to stress response, right? So mindfulness can assist in helping you recognize when you're in sympathetic and then to activate with techniques, mindful tools and techniques to activate the parasympathetic. The key is self-awareness. Although mindfulness is not necessarily a relaxation technique, its long-term side effects create and activate the parasympathetic to come out of that fight-flight. That's why they call it relaxation response. So with mindfulness, you're taking note of when you're stressed out and you can take action. It's your responsibility for your reaction to life. You want to engage those rational parts of the brain. So how do I recommend you do it? There's lots of ways, but one that I think is very, very helpful, I'd like us to practice here. So take a moment now with me and just find that centered space. Connect to your breath, check in with your posture, and get it upright so that the breath is able to flow with ease. Your back is comfortably straight, your shoulders are down, softened. And just let go of the idea of trying to relax and instead invite the best of your ability to be calm in the mind and in the body. Just bring an attitude of acceptance and greeting yourself right where you are. I often like to just put a smile on my face, encouraging to just drop in, and I imagine coming out of the sympathetic nervous system response into the parasympathetic. And I'm encouraging myself to do so with non-judgment. Curiosity. Each moment is different. Each time I apply this different moment. And I always take a minimum of 3 nice, deep belly breaths. In through the nose, poof out the belly. Hold it. Exhale out through the nose. Feel the belly concave in. Sometimes I place my hands so I can feel the flow of my breath. Inhaling, poof the belly out. Hold it. Exhale everything out. And when you're ready, inhale again. And you can do it with the eyes closed, choosing a soft gaze. You're just tuning your awareness into the body. And just allow your breath to return to its normal flow. And each time the mind wanders, just notice it wandering. That's part of mindfulness. And bring your attention back to what you're feeling in the body. The flow of the breath, in and out. And if a difficult emotion arises, I see you, I hear you, I honor you. And I love you just the way you are. You allow that emotion to be. But see if you can just be with that emotion with curiosity and acceptance. And see if you can just lighten that emotion. Help it to rise to just pure acceptance in the present moment. Embracing the feeling as you're breathing and anything that arises in your thoughts and your emotions and your bodily sensations, you're allowing all to pass through. And you're trusting that by dropping in to this parasympathetic nervous response, this activating the relaxation response, that the body can bring itself into an equanimitous state of being, a balanced state of being in this present moment. All you're reaching for right now is to be neutral and accepting and a willingness to do so. And anything else is a bonus. If you're feeling really joy-filled or peace-filled, that's awesome. But right now, if you're in a contracted emotion and I'm greeting you very stressed out, just bring yourself as best you can to a neutral, accepting what is, and then trusting that the flow of breath and the observer of thoughts and the observer of your emotions, and you're turning and you're accepting them all as they are, that you're able to build this sense of resilience and to be neutral and willing and accepting of what is, so that reason can come in, and that if I just hold this, I can begin to even maybe appreciate something, maybe invite whatever is positive in my life or optimistic or hopeful. But right now, the most important thing is coming out of that stress response and inviting a sense of inner peace, just relaxation response. And then when you're ready and you feel yourself coming into that coherent heart rhythm, may my mind be at ease, and may I be at ease with my mind, is a wonderful statement. May my mind be at ease, and may I be at ease with my mind. Just see if you can embrace that, hold it, and set the intention that when you open the eyes, you're choosing to see from a lens of freshness, newness, allowing this moment to stand on its own. And then when you're ready, gently open those eyes and do your best to see, just from a state of acceptance and neutrality. Till next time, I'm wishing you all the best, always here to support you. And if there's anything I can do to support your journey, please do reach out. Take care. Today's video is a very powerful tool. It's learning how to navigate or flow with life, relinquishing the need to control. A great influencer of mine is Deepak Chopra, and he also calls it the art of detachment. One of my favorite books is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. So it's harnessing the power of mindfully navigating, because I use mindfulness as the foundation for everything in my programs and in my coaching and corporate speaking. So learning to navigate life mindfully, being aware of the present moment with non-judgment and curiosity, you learn to navigate and harness the power of flow so that you can see solution, resolution, and creative possibilities, infinite possibilities. The law of detachment states in order to acquire anything in our physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. This does not mean you give up the focused intention of goals, and you don't give up your dreams and desires. Both must be felt and mentally focused upon in order to create that which you desire. It simply means you give up the attachment to the result. Now, this is a very powerful thing to do. See, by relinquishing your attachment to the end result, you foster an unquestioning belief in the power of flow and of your true, authentic self to manifest your desires. Now, I'm going to regress just slightly here, and I want to talk about it from a different angle. Attachment. Remember, with attachment to anything comes a very strong urge to control the circumstances. Attachment is based on fear and insecurities that create the perception that's not fact that I must control it to have it come to fruition. I must control it to have the best outcome. Attachment comes only when we are attached to a distinct, specific outcome. Detachment, on the other hand, with focused intention, is then the freedom to create. Because when we're detached, its sky is the limit, not putting it in a box to create it and keeping it very rigid and tight. The sky is the limit. You've got infinite possibility. Remember, everything in life is uncertain. And life is filled with unknowns. So if you are grounded in the wisdom that uncertainty is actually the norm, you will find freedom to create anything you imagine. You have to let go of the need to control, to want everything to be certain, tap into the possibility of uncertainty, and sky's the limit. There will always be elements of uncertainty. It's a natural process of living. And in the detachment lies the wisdom of uncertainty. And it's in this wisdom of uncertainty lies the freedom from our past. This is a direct quote from Deepak Chopra, and I just think it just delivers such potency. In detachment lies the wisdom of uncertainty. And in the wisdom of uncertainty lies the freedom from our past and from our known, which is the prison of past conditioning. And in our willingness to step into that unknown is this field of infinite possibility. We surrender to it, we trust in the flow of all things, and this is where the creative mind can tap into the field of infinite, the energy that surrounds all of us, to orchestrate this beautiful symphony and dance of the universe. I want you to think about this for a moment. When we search for security and certainty in life, we are actually attached to what we know, data, things that have occurred in the past. What's the known? Our past. The known is nothing other than constraints of past conditioning with no evolution. Uncertainty, on the other hand, is fertile ground of pure creativity and freedom. Uncertainty means stepping into the unknown in every moment of our existence. Every moment is filled with newness and freshness. We call it in mindfulness beginner's mind, seeing something like we're seeing it for the first time. Because in actuality, we are, as this moment's never been lived. So why are we bringing something into this moment that clouding what this brand new moment has to offer? So when we foster this beginner's mind, we're opening up to the creation of something new. This does not interfere with goal setting, folks, or laser focused intentions of going in a certain direction, having certain goals, dreams, desires. But between that A starting point, B the next point, there is infinite ways of getting there. infinite possibilities. Get out of that regimented, rigid thinking and get into the expansion. With uncertainty factored in, you might change direction at any moment, pivot if you need to, because you're not fixated on a certain result. Allow solutions to emerge by rising to an expansive viewpoint. Another term I've used a lot of times in all these videos is get out of the weeds and up on the hilltop. Now, if you need assistance in doing this, allow me to help you. I have a proven methodology that transforms lives and has been for 15 years. So I would love to assist you in really cultivating this ability to flow with life and relinquish that need to control. True detachment allows for deep involvement because of the lack of attachment to a specific outcome. The law of detachment accelerates the whole process of evolution to peak performance. When you witness the uncertainty while expectantly waiting for the solutions to emerge out of this chaos and confusion, that's harnessing the power of now. And this is where we get excited of something new. You get to breathe in this newness. So change the mindset of how you look at uncertainty. Instead, see it as this infinite field of possibilities, the state of alertness when you are in this awareness that uncertainty is not about relinquishing our goals, but allowing to harness the power of focused intention and seize the opportunity to solve problems, rise to challenges, capitalizing on the field of infinite possibilities when we drop in and cultivate detachment, not being attached to a specific outcome, and instead choosing focused intention, but sky's the limit. Infinite creativity. I would love to show you how. Take care. So today's video, we want to explore how emotional triggers activate the sympathetic response in the body, the stress responder, and how can we mindfully respond to our triggers. First, remember, mindfulness teaches us to tune in to how we're feeling in our bodies, our mental state of being, our thoughts, our emotional set point, and fostering the observer role with curiosity and non-judgment. And we encourage ourselves to witness what's going on for us, physically how we are responding to external circumstances. What is my emotional set point at any given moment? What are my thoughts that I'm creating? And remember, those are thoughts influenced by our emotional current. And the body is also the best mind reader ever. So we want to tune in this regard. This is what mindfulness teaches us to do in the present moment. So notice if you're ruminating, if you're worrying, ruminating on the past, worrying about something down the road, how much are you in this present moment? Notice how you can be in the situation, this experience that you're having, without being ruled by it. So another way of looking at it is allowing space around the experience, internally and externally. So to be clear, at this point, you're not trying to change anything. You're just seeing it for what it is. You're witnessing it. I tell people all the time, the best analogy is it's like you're watching your movie, your life movie, play out on the screen, your movie screen. And notice how it feels when you're engaged in a movie. No, don't do that. Oh my God, you're going to do that. Or fear, right? This is the same kind of dynamic that we have going on in our internal world when we start tuning in to self-awareness. So another way of looking at it is allowing space around the experience. If you feel yourself emotionally attached to something, awareness is power. When you're attached, you can't gain clarity about anything. It is all up close and personal. I tell people it's like placing your hand at the tip end of your nose. All you can see is your hand. When you pull it out here, not only do you see the hand, but you see all the space around it. We want to be detached from those emotions. Now, this does not mean aloof. This does not mean not feeling, but you are not up close and personal into the emotion. You're learning to be the observer with curiosity, non-judgment of what you are feeling. There is no bad emotion. We accept that we're feeling it. We actually respond to ourselves and say, I see you. I hear you. And I love you just the way you are. You really want to respond to yourself with love and kindness that you're having this emotional experience, this emotional trigger to this experience. So to be clear, at this point, you're not really changing anything. You're seeing it for what it is, and you notice how you feel and where you feel it. Mindfulness teaches us that everything we do is by choice. Learning how to identify our personal emotional triggers is one of the most pinnacle and important steps in mindfully navigating life and choosing to respond to life instead of reacting. Habitual, unconscious reactions. So emotional triggers are consisting of our thoughts, our feelings, the event itself that seem to trigger an automatic response from us. This knee-jerk, right? Our go-to. And sometimes it's unconscious. We're just going to that. We go from 90 to nothing. The word trigger is important here because the idea is that our reaction just occurs automatically. It might seem as if the emotional reaction is completely involuntary. The truth is that this is a reaction like everything else, and we have a choice. Be careful when you notice how you shouldn't have said that to me. You shouldn't have done that to me. We can't control how other people show up, but what we can control is how we show up. So be careful of that shift. It's very natural. We do it all the time. Non-judgment, but is that a fact? How can I control? How can I say, okay, you show up this way and you'll make me feel better? It's not realistic. So how do I navigate how I react or respond? How can I articulate and communicate, especially with those that we're interacting on a regular basis, and we maybe need to set a boundary, we need to express ourselves, and effectively and mindfully communicate our needs. So remember that learning how to identify our personal emotional triggers is the first step to taking control of how we choose to respond to life situations. And remember to mindfully witness what's going on internally. You're fostering a relationship with self to understand self from an emotional standpoint, the thoughts you're creating, the bodily sensations you're experiencing, and you want to explore these with love and kindness toward yourself. And notice those that elicit an emotional trigger. What do we mean? Those things that don't feel good, that literally take us from 0 to 100, and we can't maintain a state of peace. What is it? Everything in our experience is there to teach us something about ourselves. What is it that triggered that in me? That's my cue to explore mindfully so that I can learn to navigate my triggers, avoid an episode altogether, and then gracefully and with ease navigate when I am triggered so that I can learn from it. Once you increase your personal awareness of specific emotional triggers in your life, you begin the process of regulating your emotions. And this is turning those emotional reactions into emotional responses. Empowered choice. Remember, you always have a choice. So I encourage you to foster mindfulness in your daily living, tuning in to your emotions, your thoughts, your bodily sensations. I call it in my coaching program, mindful pauses, so that you can navigate with ease your emotional triggers. If you would like to learn more about how I help my clients navigate emotional triggers, learn how to avoid those episodes so that you can live a life feeling empowered, not debilitated by emotions, please do reach out and schedule your breakthrough call with me. I would love to talk further to you and explain to you the pathway to inner peace featuring the 4R method. It is my cutting edge, innovative coaching program. Till next time, all the best.